The champagne flutes clinked in synchrony, laughter ringing through our home like an enchanting symphony. It was our 10th anniversary, and the celebration was in full swing. I caught sight of Sabrina across the room, her golden hair cascading down her back, her smile bright enough to outshine the chandeliers. Everything was perfect until I noticed a furtive glance between her and Richard, the guest who'd arrived uninvited. My heart pounded in my chest, a chilling sense of foreboding creeping in as the pieces of a disturbing puzzle began to fall into place. If you're excited about this story, let us know. If you enjoyed the video, press 1. If not, press 0. Your feedback really inspires me to gather more uplifting and meaningful stories. The night had started beautifully. Sabrina had planned the party meticulously, down to the last detail. Our home was filled with friends and family, all there to celebrate our milestone. I felt a swell of pride as I watched her work the room, her charisma captivating everyone she spoke to. But then, there was Richard. He had appeared at our door, a dazzling smile plastered on his face, and I felt an inexplicable pang of unease. "Barry, happy anniversary!" Richard exclaimed, pulling me into a hearty embrace. I returned the gesture, my eyes flicking to Sabrina, who stood a few feet away, her expression unreadable. "Thanks, Richard," I replied, trying to mask my discomfort. "I didn't know you were coming." "Last-minute decision," he said with a wink. "Wouldn't miss it for the world." I forced a smile, but my mind was already racing. Richard had always been a bit too charming for my liking. And tonight, something felt off. As the evening wore on, I found myself watching Sabrina and Richard more closely. They seemed to gravitate towards each other, sharing hushed conversations and stolen glances. My stomach churned with a mix of jealousy and fear. I tried to shake off the paranoia, convincing myself that it was just my imagination. But the nagging feeling wouldn't go away. At one point, I saw Sabrina and Richard slip out onto the patio. My heart sank. I followed them, staying in the shadows, my breath coming in shallow bursts. I watched as they talked, their bodies too close for comfort. Richard leaned in, his hand brushing Sabrina's arm, and she didn't pull away. Unable to take it any longer, I stepped out of the shadows, my voice trembling with a mixture of anger and hurt. "What's going on here?" Sabrina jumped, her eyes wide with surprise. "Barry, it's not what you think." "Then what is it?" I demanded, my gaze shifting to Richard. He looked unfazed, a smug smile playing on his lips. "Barry, calm down," Sabrina said, her voice soothing but insincere. "Richard was just telling me a story." "A story?" I echoed, my voice dripping with sarcasm. It looked like more than just a story. Richard chuckled, stepping closer to me. "You're being paranoid, Barry. Sabrina and I are just friends." "Friends don't look at each other like that," I shot back, my fists clenching at my sides. The party continued around us, oblivious to the tension simmering in our corner. I could see the fear in Sabrina's eyes now, and it only fueled my suspicions. I needed answers, and I needed them now. "Sabrina, tell me the truth," I pleaded, my voice breaking. Are you cheating on me?" There was a long, painful silence. Sabrina looked down, tears brimming in her eyes. "Barry, Before she could finish, Richard stepped forward, his face a mask of false sympathy. "Barry, maybe you should take a step back and calm down. This isn't the time or place for such accusations." "Stay out of this, Richard," I snapped. "This is between me and my wife." Sabrina finally looked up, her face pale. "Barry, I'm so sorry," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I never wanted to hurt you." My heart shattered into a million pieces. I felt the room spinning around me, the noise of the party fading into the background. This was supposed to be our special night, a celebration of our love. Instead, it had turned into a nightmare. I stumbled away from the patio, needing to get away from the suffocating atmosphere. I found myself in the kitchen, gripping the edge of the counter for support. My mind was a whirlwind of emotions: anger, betrayal, heartbreak. Richard's smug face flashed in my mind, and I wanted nothing more than to wipe that smile off his face. But violence wouldn't solve anything. I needed to think, to process what had just happened. Sabrina found me a few minutes later, her eyes red from crying. "Barry, please, can we talk?" I turned to face her, my expression hard. "Talk? What is there to talk about, Sabrina? You cheated on me." "It wasn't like that," she insisted, her voice pleading. "Richard and we got close, but it didn't mean anything. I love you, Barry. Please, believe me." I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe that this was just a terrible misunderstanding. But the evidence was right in front of me. "I don't know if I can trust you anymore," I said, my voice hollow. The rest of the night was a blur. The party eventually wound down, our guests leaving one by one, oblivious to the turmoil that had unfolded. I barely registered their goodbyes, my mind consumed by the betrayal I felt. Sabrina tried to talk to me again, but I couldn't bear to look at her. I needed space, time to figure out what to do next. I ended up sleeping in the guest room, the bed feeling cold and empty. The next morning, Sabrina and I sat down to talk. She was remorseful, begging for forgiveness, but the pain was still too fresh. I couldn't just brush it off and pretend everything was okay. "I need some time," I told her, my voice strained. "I don't know if I can forgive you, Sabrina. This changes everything." She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I understand, Barry. I'll give you the space you need. But please, know that I love you and I'm so sorry." The days that followed were some of the hardest of my life. I went through the motions, trying to maintain a semblance of normalcy, but inside, I was a wreck. I confided in a few close friends, seeking their advice and support. Richard had disappeared from our lives, and I was grateful for that. I didn't know if I could ever face him again without wanting to punch him. As for Sabrina, she respected my need for space, giving me the time I needed to heal. Eventually, I came to a decision. I loved Sabrina, and despite the betrayal, a part of me still wanted to fight for our marriage. We agreed to go to counseling, to work through our issues and rebuild the trust that had been shattered. It wasn't easy. There were days when I wanted to give up, when the pain felt too overwhelming. But slowly, with time and effort, we began to heal. Sabrina proved her commitment to me, to us, and I started to believe in our future again. Our 10th anniversary was supposed to be a celebration of our love. Instead, it became a turning point, a test of our strength and resilience. And though it was a painful journey, it ultimately brought us closer together, forging a bond that was stronger than ever before. Our first counseling session was nerve-wracking. We sat in a small, cozy room with a therapist named Dr. Matthews, who greeted us with a warm smile. She made us feel comfortable, which was important because we were about to delve into the most painful parts of our relationship. "Barry, Sabrina, I'm here to help you both navigate through this challenging time," Dr. Matthews began. "This is a safe space for you to express your feelings and work towards healing." Sabrina went first, recounting how she felt neglected and isolated in the months leading up to our anniversary. Hearing her perspective was painful, but it was necessary. I realized that our busy lives had created a gap between us, a gap that Richard had filled. When it was my turn, I spoke about the betrayal, the hurt, and the anger. I didn't hold back, and Dr. Matthews encouraged me to let it all out. It was cathartic, but it also left me emotionally drained. Trust is a fragile thing. Once broken, it's incredibly hard to rebuild. Dr. Matthews guided us through exercises designed to foster communication and rebuild the trust that had been shattered. We learned to listen to each other, really listen, and understand the underlying emotions behind our words. One night, after a particularly intense session, Sabrina and I sat on the couch, holding hands. It was the first time in weeks that we had touched each other with such tenderness. "I'm sorry, Barry," she whispered. "I know I've said it 1,000 times, but I truly am." "I know," I replied softly. "And I'm trying, Sabrina. I'm trying to forgive you." We sat in silence, the weight of our emotions hanging in the air. But for the first time, there was a glimmer of hope. We were starting to rebuild the foundation of our relationship, one step at a time. Just as we were beginning to find our footing, a new challenge emerged. Richard was back. He hadn't shown up in person, but his presence was felt through a series of texts and emails. He apologized, claimed he wanted to make amends, but his words felt hollow. "Sabrina, I don't want you to have any contact with him," I said firmly, showing her the latest message from Richard. "I don't," she insisted. "I blocked him everywhere, Barry. I don't know how he's getting through." The messages stopped for a while, but the damage was done. The mere mention of Richard's name was enough to reignite old wounds. We had to work even harder to keep our focus on healing our marriage. One evening, we decided to take a walk through the park, a place we used to visit often when we first started dating. The familiar sights and sounds brought back fond memories, and we found ourselves talking about the good times. "Remember our first date here?" Sabrina asked, a smile playing on her lips. "How could I forget? You laughed at all my jokes, even the terrible ones," I replied, chuckling. We strolled hand in hand, reminiscing about the past. It felt like we were rediscovering each other, rekindling the love that had brought us together in the first place. The park became a sanctuary for us, a place where we could reconnect and strengthen our bond. Forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It took months of hard work, tears, and honest conversations, but eventually, I found it in my heart to forgive Sabrina. It wasn't an easy decision, but it was the only way forward if we wanted to save our marriage. One night, as we lay in bed, I turned to her and said, "I forgive you, Sabrina. Let's move forward together." Her eyes filled with tears, and she hugged me tightly. "Thank you, Barry. I promise I'll never hurt you again." Those words were a turning point. We began to focus on the future, planning new adventures and creating new memories. It wasn't always smooth sailing, but we faced each challenge together, stronger than before. Our 10th anniversary had been a test of our love, and we had emerged stronger. We renewed our vows in a small, intimate ceremony with close friends and family. It was a beautiful day, filled with love and hope. As we exchanged vows, I looked into Sabrina's eyes and saw the woman I had fallen in love with all those years ago. We had been through hell and back, but we had come out the other side, more committed to each other than ever. "Here's to new beginnings," I said, raising my glass. "To new beginnings," Sabrina echoed, smiling. And with that, we started a new chapter in our lives, ready to face whatever the future held, hand in hand. With our renewed vows fresh in our minds, Sabrina and I decided to take a second honeymoon. We chose a quiet coastal town, far from the hustle and bustle of our daily lives. It was a chance to reconnect, to find each other again amidst the serenity of the ocean waves and the gentle rustle of the coastal breeze. Our days were filled with long walks on the beach, intimate dinners, and heartfelt conversations. We talked about our dreams, our fears, and our hopes for the future. The more we talked, the closer we became. It was as if we were rediscovering each other all over again. One evening, as we watched the sunset, Sabrina took my hand and said, "Barry, I'm so grateful for this second chance. I promise to cherish and honor our love every day." I squeezed her hand, feeling a deep sense of peace. "I'm grateful too, Sabrina. We've been through a lot, but we're stronger because of it. Here's to us." Returning home, we were determined to make the most of our new beginning. We decided to renovate our house, turning it into a project we could work on together. It was a symbolic gesture, a way to rebuild our lives just as we were rebuilding our home. We spent weekends painting walls, choosing new furniture, and creating a space that felt truly ours. It was hard work, but it was also incredibly rewarding. Each brushstroke, each nail hammered into place, was a step towards a brighter future. One evening, as we sat in our newly decorated living room, Sabrina turned to me and said, "I love what we've done with the place. It feels like a fresh start." I smiled, feeling a warmth in my chest. It does. And it's just the beginning. We have so much to look forward to. Life slowly returned to normal, but with a renewed sense of purpose and joy. Sabrina and I made a conscious effort to spend more time together, to appreciate the little moments that make life beautiful. We took up new hobbies, explored new places, and made new memories. One sunny afternoon, we decided to go hiking. As we reached the top of the trail, we were rewarded with a breathtaking view of the valley below. We sat down, catching our breath and taking in the scenery. "This is amazing," Sabrina said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "I'm so glad we did this." "Me too," I replied, wrapping my arm around her. "It's moments like these that make everything worth it." We sat in comfortable silence, basking in the beauty of the moment. It was a reminder of how far we had come, and how much we had to look forward to. Just as things were settling into a comfortable rhythm, an unexpected visit threatened to disrupt our peace. One evening, there was a knock on the door. I opened it to find Richard standing there, looking contrite. "Barry, can we talk?" he asked, his voice tinged with regret. I felt a surge of anger but managed to keep my composure. "What do you want, Richard?" "I came to apologize," he said, looking me straight in the eye. "I know I caused a lot of pain, and I'm truly sorry. I've been doing a lot of soul searching, and I realized I needed to make amends." I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to slam the door in his face, but another part of me was curious. "Come in," I said reluctantly. Sabrina joined us in the living room, her expression wary. Richard apologized to her as well, expressing his remorse for the pain he had caused. "I don't expect forgiveness," Richard said, "but I needed to tell you both how sorry I am." After he left, Sabrina and I sat in silence, processing what had just happened. "Do you think he was sincere?" she asked. "I don't know," I admitted. "But it doesn't matter. What matters is us, and the life we're building together." She nodded, a look of determination on her face. "You're right. We've come too far to let anything or anyone disrupt our happiness." As the months passed, Sabrina and I continued to strengthen our relationship. We learned to trust each other again, to communicate openly and honestly. Our love grew deeper, rooted in the challenges we had overcome together. We started talking about the future, about starting a family and growing old together. It was a conversation filled with hope and excitement, a testament to the strength of our bond. One evening, as we sat on the porch, watching the stars, I turned to Sabrina and said, "I'm looking forward to spending the rest of my life with you." She smiled, her eyes shining with love. "Me too, Barry. We've been through a lot, but it's made us stronger. I wouldn't want to be on this journey with anyone else." We sat in comfortable silence, the future stretching out before us like a blank canvas, ready to be filled with the colors of our love and the beauty of our shared dreams. A year had passed since our 10th anniversary, and as we celebrated our 11th, it felt like a new chapter was beginning. We threw a small party with our closest friends and family, a celebration of not just our anniversary but also of the journey we had undertaken together. As we stood in front of our loved ones, I raised my glass. "To new beginnings," I said, my voice filled with emotion. "And to the love that has brought us here." Sabrina raised her glass, her eyes meeting mine. "To us," she said, her voice steady and strong. "And to the future." We clinked glasses, and the room erupted in applause. It was a moment of pure joy, a testament to the strength of our love and the resilience of our spirits. As the party continued around us, Sabrina and I shared a quiet moment together, reflecting on the journey we had taken. "We made it," she whispered, her eyes filled with tears of happiness. "We did," I replied, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "And the best is yet to come." We embraced, knowing that whatever challenges lay ahead, we would face them together, stronger and more in love than ever before. Our 10th anniversary had been a turning point, but it was also the beginning of a beautiful new chapter in our lives, one filled with hope, love, and endless possibilities. As the months turned into a year, the talk of starting a family became more than just a dream. Sabrina and I decided to take the plunge and try for a child. It was an exciting and daunting prospect, but we were ready. We felt our relationship had healed and strengthened enough to bring a new life into our world. We visited doctors, read books, and prepared ourselves for the journey ahead. Sabrina's enthusiasm was contagious. She began transforming the spare room into a nursery, painting the walls a soothing pastel color and filling the room with soft, plush toys. I found myself caught up in her excitement, imagining the pitter-patter of tiny feet echoing through our home. A few months later, our hopes turned into reality. Sabrina stood in the bathroom, holding a positive pregnancy test with tears of joy streaming down her face. "Barry, we're going to have a baby," she exclaimed, her voice trembling with happiness. I hugged her tightly, feeling a surge of emotions. "I can't believe it," I whispered. "We're really going to be parents." The next few months were a whirlwind of preparations and anticipation. We attended prenatal classes, set up doctor appointments, and shared the joyous news with our friends and family. The support and love we received were overwhelming, and it made us even more excited for the arrival of our little one. As Sabrina's belly grew, so did our anticipation. We spent countless hours talking to the baby, feeling its kicks, and dreaming about the future. The closer we got to the due date, the more I realized how much I loved Sabrina. She was glowing, her excitement and love for our unborn child shining brightly. One evening, as we sat on the couch, Sabrina resting her head on my shoulder, she looked up at me with a smile. "Barry, I can't wait to see you as a father. You're going to be amazing." "And you're going to be the best mother," I replied, kissing her forehead. "This baby is so lucky to have you." The day finally arrived, and it was more intense and beautiful than I could have ever imagined. Sabrina was incredible, her strength and determination during labor leaving me in awe. I held her hand, whispering words of encouragement and love, feeling a deep connection to her and our baby. When our child was finally born, the room filled with the sound of newborn cries, tears of joy streamed down both of our faces. The nurse handed us our baby, and we looked down at the tiny, perfect being in our arms. "Meet our son," Sabrina whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "He's perfect," I said, my heart swelling with love. "Welcome to the world, little one." Bringing our son home was an adventure in itself. We were both exhausted and exhilarated, learning the ropes of parenthood one step at a time. There were sleepless nights, countless diaper changes, and moments of pure, unfiltered joy. Sabrina and I worked as a team, supporting each other through the challenges and celebrating the milestones. Our son brought a new kind of love into our lives, one that was pure and unconditional. We found ourselves growing even closer, our bond strengthened by the shared experience of raising our child. As the weeks turned into months, we settled into a new routine. Our days were filled with feeding, bathing, and playing with our son. Watching him grow and develop was a constant source of wonder and pride. One sunny afternoon, we took a family walk in the park. Sabrina carried our son in a baby carrier, and I held her hand, feeling a profound sense of contentment. "Look at him," Sabrina said, smiling down at our son. "He's so curious about everything." "He gets that from you," I replied, chuckling. "You've always had a curious mind." We sat on a bench, watching as our son reached out to touch the leaves on a nearby bush. It was a simple moment, but it was filled with so much love and happiness. Parenthood brought its own set of challenges, but Sabrina and I faced them together. There were times of frustration and exhaustion, but we always found a way to support each other. We learned to communicate even better, ensuring that we were both on the same page when it came to raising our son. One night, as we sat on the porch after putting our son to bed, Sabrina turned to me and said, "Barry, I couldn't have asked for a better partner in this journey. You're an amazing father and husband." "I couldn't do it without you," I replied, squeezing her hand. "We're in this together, every step of the way." Our son's first birthday was a joyous occasion, a celebration of all the love and growth we had experienced in the past year. We invited our closest friends and family, filling our home with laughter and warmth. As we gathered around to sing happy birthday, I looked at Sabrina and our son, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. We had come so far, and our family was stronger than ever. "Happy birthday, little one," Sabrina whispered, kissing our son's forehead. "We love you so much." "And we always will," I added, feeling a swell of pride and love. Reflecting on the journey. As we put our son to bed that night, Sabrina and I sat together, reflecting on the incredible journey we had been on. From the pain and betrayal of our 10th anniversary to the joy of welcoming our son into the world, we had faced so much and come out stronger. "We've been through a lot," Sabrina said, her voice filled with emotion. "But I wouldn't change a thing. It's made us who we are today." "I feel the same way," I replied, holding her close. "We've built something beautiful together, and I can't wait to see what the future holds." With our past behind us and our future ahead, Sabrina and I embraced the next chapter of our lives with open hearts. We knew there would be challenges, but we also knew that we could face anything as long as we had each other. As we stood on the porch, watching the sunset, I felt a deep sense of peace. Our journey had been filled with ups and downs, but it had also been filled with love, growth, and endless possibilities. "Here's to us," I said, raising an imaginary glass. "Here's to us," Sabrina echoed, smiling. And with that, we stepped into the future, hand in hand, ready to face whatever came our way, knowing that our love would guide us through. Life has a way of throwing surprises our way, and our journey was no exception. Just when we thought we had settled into a comfortable routine, Sabrina and I received some unexpected news. During a routine checkup, Sabrina's doctor informed us that she was pregnant again. The news was a mix of shock and joy. We had planned on having more children, but the timing took us by surprise. Our son was still very young, and the idea of managing another baby seemed daunting. Yet, the excitement in Sabrina's eyes was infectious. "Barry, we're going to have another baby," she said, tears of happiness glistening in her eyes. I hugged her tightly, feeling the familiar rush of emotions. "Another little miracle," I whispered. "We're going to be a family of 4. This time, we felt more prepared. We knew what to expect and how to manage the challenges that came with pregnancy and a newborn. Sabrina and I worked together to prepare our home for the new arrival, turning the guest room into another nursery and making sure our son felt included in the process. Our days were filled with planning and anticipation, and our son's curiosity about the baby growing in Sabrina's belly was endearing. He would often rest his tiny hand on her stomach, feeling the baby's kicks, and his eyes would light up with wonder. "Baby," he would exclaim, and Sabrina and I would smile, knowing that he was as excited as we were. The day our daughter was born was just as magical as the birth of our son. Sabrina's strength and grace during labor once again left me in awe. When our daughter finally arrived, we were overwhelmed with love and joy. "She's perfect," Sabrina said, cradling our newborn daughter in her arms. I looked at our tiny, beautiful baby girl, feeling a surge of love. "Welcome to the world, sweetheart," I whispered. "We love you so much." Our son was fascinated by his new sister, gently touching her tiny fingers and gazing at her with wide eyes. Our hearts were full, and our family felt complete. Raising 2 young children was a challenge, but Sabrina and I embraced it wholeheartedly. We found a new rhythm, balancing the needs of our son and daughter while making sure to nurture our relationship as well. There were sleepless nights and moments of exhaustion, but there were also countless moments of joy. Watching our children grow and interact with each other filled our days with laughter and love. Sabrina and I continued to support each other, communicating openly and working as a team. We found joy in the little things, like family outings to the park, bedtime stories, and the sound of our children's laughter echoing through our home. As the years passed, our family continued to grow and thrive. We celebrated milestones together, from our children's first steps to their first words, and everything in between. Each moment was a reminder of how far we had come and how much we had to be grateful for. On our 15th wedding anniversary, we decided to renew our vows once again. Surrounded by our closest friends and family, we reaffirmed our love and commitment to each other, reflecting on the journey we had taken together. "Our love has weathered many storms," I said, holding Sabrina's hands. "And it has only grown stronger. I am grateful for every moment we've shared and every challenge we've overcome." Sabrina's eyes were filled with tears of happiness. "Barry, you are my rock, my partner, and my best friend. I look forward to many more years of love and happiness with you." Life continued to bring us challenges and joys, but Sabrina and I faced them together, stronger than ever. Our children grew, and our love for each other deepened with each passing day. We learned to cherish the present, knowing that each moment was a precious gift. One evening, as we sat on the porch watching our children play, Sabrina turned to me and said, "Barry, I'm so happy. Our life is beautiful." I smiled, feeling a profound sense of contentment. "It is, Sabrina. And it's all because of you." We sat in comfortable silence, enjoying the peaceful evening. Our journey had been filled with ups and downs, but it had also been filled with love, growth, and endless possibilities. As we embraced the present, we knew that the future was bright, and we were ready to face it together, hand in hand. As our children grew older, we began to think about the next chapter of our lives. We talked about our dreams and aspirations, making plans for the future while cherishing the moments we had together. We decided to take a family trip, exploring new places and creating new memories. It was a time of adventure and bonding, a reminder of the importance of family and the love that held us together. On the last night of our trip, as we watched the sunset on the beach, Sabrina and I held hands, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "Here's to the future," I said, raising an imaginary glass. "Here's to us," Sabrina replied, smiling. And with that, we embraced the next chapter of our lives, knowing that whatever came our way, we would face it together, with love, strength, and unwavering commitment. Our journey had been incredible, and we knew that the best was yet to come. As our children continued to grow and flourish, Sabrina and I took time to reflect on the lessons we had learned throughout our journey. We realized that our trials had taught us the importance of communication, trust, and resilience. These were the pillars that held our relationship together and allowed us to build a loving and supportive family. We began to share these lessons with our children, hoping to instill in them the values that had guided us. We taught them about the importance of honesty, the power of forgiveness, and the beauty of unconditional love. We wanted them to know that life would not always be easy, but with the right attitude and support, they could overcome any obstacle. Inspired by our own journey of growth and healing, Sabrina and I decided to give back to our community. We started volunteering at local shelters, sharing our story with others who were going through difficult times. Our goal was to provide hope and support, showing that even in the darkest moments, there was always a path to healing. We also began to mentor young couples, offering guidance and advice based on our own experiences. It was fulfilling to see the positive impact we could have on others' lives, and it deepened our sense of purpose. One evening, after a particularly inspiring session with a young couple, Sabrina turned to me and said, "Barry, we've come so far. I'm proud of what we've accomplished and the difference we're making." "I am too," I replied, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "We've turned our pain into something beautiful." As our 20th anniversary approached, we decided to throw a grand celebration. It was a testament to our enduring love and the journey we had undertaken together. We invited all our friends and family, creating a joyful and festive atmosphere. The night of the party, Sabrina and I stood before our loved ones, ready to renew our vows once more. As I looked into her eyes, I felt a profound sense of gratitude for the life we had built together. "Sabrina, you are my heart and my soul," I began, my voice steady with emotion. "Our journey has been filled with challenges, but it has also been filled with love and growth. I am grateful for every moment we've shared, and I look forward to many more years with you." Tears filled Sabrina's eyes as she spoke. "Barry, you are my rock, my partner, and my best friend. We've faced so much together, and it has only made our love stronger. I promise to continue to cherish and honor you every day." We exchanged rings, a symbol of our enduring commitment, and sealed our vows with a kiss. The room erupted in applause, and we were surrounded by the love and support of those who had been with us throughout our journey. As we entered the next chapter of our lives, Sabrina and I embraced the future with open hearts. We continued to support each other, nurturing our relationship and our family. Our children grew into kind, compassionate individuals, embodying the values we had taught them. We traveled, explored new passions, and cherished the simple moments of everyday life. Our love remained the anchor that held us steady, guiding us through the ups and downs of life. One evening, as we sat on the porch watching the sunset, Sabrina turned to me and said, "Barry, our life is beautiful. We've created something truly special." I smiled, feeling a deep sense of contentment. "We have, Sabrina. And I'm grateful for every moment." As the years went by, Sabrina and I watched our children build their own lives and families. We became grandparents, experiencing the joy of watching the next generation grow and thrive. Our home was filled with laughter, love, and the sweet chaos of family gatherings. We continued to share our story, hoping to inspire others to believe in the power of love and resilience. Our journey was not perfect, but it was real, and it was ours. We had faced challenges, made mistakes, and learned valuable lessons along the way. One day, as we sat together on the porch, Sabrina resting her head on my shoulder, I reflected on the incredible journey we had taken. "We've lived a good life," I said softly. "Full of love, growth, and endless possibilities." Sabrina smiled, her eyes filled with warmth. "Yes, we have. And it's all because we chose to believe in each other and in our love." As I reflect on our journey, I am filled with a profound sense of gratitude. Sabrina and I faced one of the greatest challenges a marriage can endure, and we emerged stronger and more in love than ever. Our story is a testament to the power of forgiveness, the importance of communication, and the resilience of the human spirit. Choosing to stay and work through our difficulties was not an easy decision, but it was the right one for us. It allowed us to grow as individuals and as a couple, to build a loving family, and to create a life filled with joy and meaning. In life, we often face unexpected challenges and difficult choices. But it is in those moments that we discover our true strength and the depth of our love. Sabrina and I chose to fight for our relationship, and in doing so, we found a love that was deeper and more enduring than we could have ever imagined. Our journey is a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there is always hope. With love, patience, and determination, we can overcome any obstacle and build a life that is truly beautiful. Writing this story has reminded me of the incredible resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of love. Barry and Sabrina's journey is a testament to the idea that even in our darkest moments, we can find light and hope. Choosing to forgive and rebuild a relationship after a betrayal is not easy, and it requires immense strength and courage. However, the rewards of such a choice can be profound. By facing their challenges head-on and committing to growth and healing, Barry and Sabrina were able to create a life filled with love, joy, and fulfillment. This story underscores the importance of communication, trust, and resilience in any relationship. It reminds us that love is not just a feeling but a choice that we make every day. By choosing to believe in each other and work through their difficulties, Barry and Sabrina found a love that was deeper and more enduring than they ever thought possible. In our own lives, we can draw inspiration from their journey. We can choose to face our challenges with courage, to communicate openly and honestly with our loved ones, and to believe in the power of love and forgiveness. By doing so, we can create a life that is truly beautiful and meaningful. My videos are educational. You listen to these stories and learn from other people's mistakes. We analyze people's behavior. My content can't be called formal or automatic, because all the stories are written and I compose them myself. Thanks for your comments and subscribe to my channel. I try to make interesting videos for you. Your likes and comments inspire me to create the next videos.